Hey everyone, welcome back to the realm. I'm Gina.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jen.
I'm Rob.
I'm Amy.
Brian.
Why does everybody sound so Eeyore today?
It's been a Eeyore last few days.
The whole week.
Yeah, it's been a rough one.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. How'd your gig go last night?
Well, we started a pit and we made somebody pass out, and then the cops came.
Awesome.
And an ambulance came, and one of the cops was our neighbor, and I ripped my hand up on my guitar. And I was out there talking about a Band-Aid, and the cop said, I don't have a Band-Aid, but I have a sticker. And he gave me a badge sticker. So we gave him an apeshit sticker. We got asked to do some music fest in fall, and it was all right. It was all right otherwise.
That's cool.
So standard.
Standard.
Just a standard night.
Yeah.
Just a standard night. Well, for those of you that don't know, we have very talented people on our team. Rob's in a band, Jenny's in a band, Brian's in
Brian's in something.
It was the way that you looked at me that made me stop what I was saying. But I was going to say, Brian hosts a spinoff of our podcast called Wrestling with the Realm. And Rich and Rob and Brian are going to be running another spinoff of the Realm called Realm on Film.
Realm on Film.
We got to start recording it. I've already done 3 episodes in my head.
So we're going to get that to you as soon as we can.
Did Rich just change spots on everybody's screen?
Nope.
No.
Because it freaked me out. Okay. Yeah, you went from where Rob is right now, and you two like flip-flopped, so...
No,
that's really strange.
No,
it stayed the same on my
and now you're back. And now you're back where you were.
That's really strange. Maybe your house is haunted.
Hey,
all right, Rob,
could you stop bullying me and pushing me around different spots? I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Rich. Gosh, play nice.
Yeah, we got to get Sinners in. First episode is going to be Sinners. This is going to be exciting.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be exciting. So whenever we
I'm
do
off
Twilight,
all week,
I'll be on there.
You tell me
I'm off all week, so if you guys want to do it during the week, we can do it during the week.
You just tell me when to be here, and I'll be here.
Perfect. And Amy, who do we have here with us as a co-host?
Twilight.
This is Lola.
Hi, Lola.
She's a racing dog.
Nice.
She is fast. That is true.
You can tell
if she's gone, you ain't catching her.
Is it like the race overseas where they're like roll with a wheel of cheese down the hill? Did you guys ever
that thing.
Oh, it would be something like that, because if we don't have her on a leash or in a little pen in the backyard, like trying to get her in, we'll chase her around that whole backyard. And if she ever gets out of the front door or out of that fence, all over the neighborhood. It's like Benny Hill.
Wackety sacks, yeah.
I got that song stuck in my head.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I thought somebody had the Wheel of Cheese thing as a story on Weird Weekly News.
Yeah, we did that. I think
sometime. I don't know when.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
He loves cheese.
So
and wheels.
And they kind of go together. So
usually.
Oh, speaking of wheels, we have our wheel of names all fired up because why? We're going to do our first episode of Roulette, baby. So it's going to be different. I think every time we do it, this time we're doing it for the first time. So instead of putting topics, we have all of our names on it, similar to Weird Weekly News.
Next time you should just pick the topics, tell anybody what they are, put them on there, and then when we get on, we'll be surprised, and then when you spin it, whatever it is, we all got to talk about it.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping
look it up real quick, or if we know about it, it'll be hilarious.
I know that I'm not going to be surprised about one of them.
It'll be hilarious.
Why?
Rob, I was going to be your Kirk when you put your hand up. I was going full Wrath of Khan. You put your hand up. I was going to put mine against yours. It was going to be a moment.
Oh, so sweet.
The radiation, too much. Yeah.
That's why your
working.
pictures are switching around.
Yeah.
No.
Can you make your phone disappear?
So what we're doing today is conspiracy roulette. So we're going to spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on has to discuss a conspiracy theory, has to say a conspiracy theory that they think could probably be true and give their argument as to why. And then if the same person has the same conspiracy, like if there's somebody else on the team that was going to talk about the same conspiracy, you're just going to hop in with the other person, and you guys are you're going to tell it. You're going to sell us on it.
I know I don't have the same one as somebody else here.
How do you know what somebody else has?
Oh,
wait, I know what Brian is. I don't even have to guess, but maybe he'll surprise us.
What?
Another one did pop in my mind when I was in the shower, and I was like, dang it. I was listening to an old episode of Loveline, and they talked about something, and I was like, man, now I really want to do that. But that one's real simple and quaint compared to the other one. But
this doesn't have to be in depth. This is just for fun.
One of them's in depth.
But speaking of conspiracies, just to get the ball rolling and kind of add a little weird news. By the way, did anybody catch any weird news lately? Has anybody see what's yours, Rich?
Did you hear about the guy that got kidnapped by dolphins turned out to be fake?
No, not the dolphin guy.
Invested in that.
Oh,
what?
God.
What happened?
There's a man that says he was kidnapped in Florida by some dolphins, and it turned out to be fake. My kid tells me on the way to work one day, "Hey, Dad, you should do this for your Weird Weekly News." This one guy in Florida, he was kidnapped by dolphins, and they found all this evidence, and all these people chimed in and everything else. And then later in the day, he goes, "Forget it, it was fake."
Well, Shannon had sent me one that I was going to bring up today, but I'm going to save it for the next time we record because I really want to read more about it. But she told me about another one where
a man got kidnapped by another dolphin.
No, but it's all. These are all Florida stories, by the way. I mean, we can't.
Rich, what was the first thing you thought of when Jake told you that about the dolphins and the guy?
What was the first thing I thought of?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably something George Carlin once said, but I can't.
Married with Children with Al on the Sea Dodge. Man and dolphin working together.
Yeah.
I went straight to Ace Ventura.
That's good too.
Whenever he's inside of the Miami Dolphins, and he's like, "To know the dolphin, you have to think like the dolphin." So apparently these towers are going up. You know how they were over the last few years trying to upgrade everybody to 5G, right?
Sure.
Well, initially people were saying that the towers were going up everywhere because it was going to be used to emit a frequency that was going to activate something in the COVID-19 vaccination to eliminate or kill everybody that had the vaccine. And they're ergo saying that the vaccine was meant to eradicate people that would be, quote, stupid enough to take it. Well, if that's the case, man, I think I'm riding 6 or 7 deep. So I'm totally fucked when they turn on those towers. But just saying.
I think you're going to be okay.
I was like, are you kidding me right now? So,
nope, it was just indigestion. Whew,
there you go. Brian's okay. Brian went down.
Oh.
I need you to move over a little bit, BJ. I can't see Sweeney there behind you.
Shut the fuck up, Rich. What are you doing?
What?
You can't say it out loud.
Okay, here, let me mop. How else am I going to say it? I like that. I like that ghost. It's my favorite. It's my
Gina
favorite.
hadn't figured it out yet.
Oh my God, is that?
Oh, she was going on she was going on the other right now. We go now.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so we're just so everybody knows and doesn't get lost in this inside conversation is that we're rebranding. So we're looking at some new logos, and Brian made one, and he knows I really don't like Sydney Sweeney, and he made the ghost.
I like the red that you put in the podcast. Is that blood red? Is that like blood?
Yeah, it's got like a it's cool.
It does have
we got over here. We got Bigfoot over my other shoulder.
Oh yeah, I see him there. Yeah, I see him there.
And then there's an alien behind me, but we have a ghost.
Oh, I
she bears a striking resemblance to somebody.
Yeah. I like the Bigfoot. Where's the alien at? I didn't see the alien.
He's behind me. He's over the A.
Okay.
Yeah, he's poking over the A.
Gotcha.
You guys will see it.
I don't want to spend
Nice.
time talking about her, so we're gonna just
Nice.
go into our conspiracies. Is everybody ready? Did everybody bring a conspiracy today?
Yes.
Maybe it's just a
Well-
conspiracy that it looks like her.
That could be.
Hey, Brian, we'll talk later about it before the show's over.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah.
have a little more
Yeah.
conversation on her.
Whenever we get done, Rob and I usually call each other and we call it Sweeney Talk. And we just go over like the Sydney
Actually,
Sweeney news of the week.
for the-
These
for
Penny
the-
for your thoughts.
The movie review podcast, we're actually going to have Sweeney Corner. It's
Yes, that's it.
small segment
yeah.
every episode.
Yep.
Nice.
Talk about her. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be nice.
veto it.
I like it.
Yeah. You know.
Oh,
Well, Euphoria season 3 is coming out, so
Perfect.
Wow.
there is that.
Perfect.
You guys can go live in Sweeneyville.
I'll have to binge watch it because I
Where's
never saw
that?
1 and 2. So
Is it near here?
It's the land of make believe that you guys stay in, thinking that she's something special. So anyway,
Aw.
here we go. Let's see who is going to go first.
As if
Ooh,
this
listen
is
to
I
a-
that
don't remember
sound.
it making a noise before.
No.
That's because I fixed it. Oh, come on! No.
instant karma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Sydney.
it's all me.
That was. Yeah.
Okay, so it's me first. I always say to my kids, because my grandkids, they call me Mimi, and I'll say, it's a Mimi, whenever I talk to them. It cracks them up. I noticed you guys didn't really chuckle, so.
It's a spicy meatball, eh?
I'm hungry right now. I haven't eaten, so
Oh, shoot. Well, let's get this thing started.
yeah. Let's not talk about meatballs.
We had Swedish meatballs for dinner from IKEA.
Did you say fish
Ooh.
meatballs?
No, Swedish meatballs.
Ooh,
Oh.
haven't had those in a while.
But they have vegetarian version there, by the
Mm.
way. Vegan version, actually.
That's cool.
But yeah.
We're having Sweeney meatballs.
Mhm.
Swedish. No, Swedish, not Sweeney.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
All right. Well, I have to go first, which
All right.
I was really hoping somebody else had to go first, so that because I was on the fence between two conspiracy theories that I think could be plausible. So one of them is not paranormal, and the other one is. So I feel like should we
Mine's
go
not
with
paranormal.
super controversial, non-paranormal? Or
Ooh.
something more talked about paranormal. I feel like the super controversial one.
Pick left or right, Gina. I have both of those ideas in one of my hands.
Left.
Okay, that's the controversial one.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to hear
Hey,
this
what are you
one?
doing, Boom?
And just so everybody knows, I'm real honest about that. There's no shenanigans there. That's what was in this hand.
That's what
We wouldn't think anything
Yeah.
else.
we
I
trust
didn't
you.
know it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
believe
Let me
you.
see the other hand. Let's see what's in it.
Damn! That Clint Eastwood. You got me, Rob.
Okay, here it goes. I believe that there is something to the conspiracy that 9/11 was somewhat an inside.
Ah!
Wow.
Is that yours?
There is no way!
9/11 was what?
Somewhat an inside job.
I've heard the stories, and
You gotta be
Yeah.
kidding me.
it's just like anything else that
Yeah.
everyone else is gonna talk about. You could probably see both sides of it. So I
Rob.
mean, anytime
Well, I did pick
something like
two,
that,
but
you
I
know?
didn't do a shit ton of research. I only got what I know because I don't know.
Okay, you
I
go
don't know
first.
why I would think somebody else would pick one of the most popular conspiracies. That's me.
Okay, how about you go first?
No, go ahead. No,
Okay.
you are in the limelight. We'll have a heavy discussion.
yes, we
so
will.
I brought this up to somebody, and actually I brought it up to Shannon yesterday because we were talking about what conspiracy you're going to talk about, and I was like, I'm really on the fence, but this 9/11.
Okay, but are you on the fence of which side you fall on of the conspiracy?
No, I
Or
was
are you
on the
just-
fence on which conspiracy to talk about tonight. But
Well, what are you?
I'm
But what are you?
not-
Do you think it could have been, or do you think
Yes.
there's no way? Okay.
I believe
curious.
that it could have been an inside job, or I believe that there is some truth to it being an inside job.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I mean, I've watched, back they had some Netflix shows and some other TV shows talking about it. And I watched YouTube shows back in the day
Mhm.
that presented all of this evidence because it was talking about other buildings that collapsed within that area.
Building 7.
Building 7.
Yes, that collapsed. And, people weren't talking about that enough. I know some of the things that people talked about was like, they talked about the jet fuel not being able to melt metal, which theoretically, yes, technically
Unless you knock off the flame
yes,
retardant material, but those are details.
Right.
But, it's kind of like the way that I explain vaccines to people at work, like whenever I'm talking to people about it. And they're like, well, I get the flu shot and I still get the flu. Or the people that had got COVID even when they got the vaccine. And I'm like, okay, so it's a firefighter can wear like flame retardant material to go into a fire, but it is only fire resistant enough or flame retardant enough and heat resistant enough up to a certain amount of degree of temperature over a certain period of time. Same thing you get if you get a vaccine that's like 97, 99% effective. But if you are overly exposed and depending on how your body's going to fight it, you still could become positive, but it's going to make it less and you're going to have less critical like reactions to it, right?
Jet fuel burns at a lower temperature, like 800 degrees to like 1500. But when steel is exposed to it enough, it only ends up with like having 10% of its strength.
Yes, exactly. So it's exposed to it for such a long period of time, it's going to fail eventually, right?
Right. And those are the things people don't think about when they come up with with their theories of, oh, there's no way you can do it. Well, but if you research it and you actually get the exact scientific explanation of it, it turns out it is possible. But
so it's like,
so
part. I know that the plane could probably definitely like bring a building like that down after time. But what was reported and what was actually shown, on videos was these little micro explosions prior to the building collapsing, talking about the way that it was collapsed. So I'm not a structural engineer, so I can't say like, was the building built that way? So that way, if it did ever fall, that it would fall straight down. Or is that more of, because I know when people place explosives, whenever they're demolishing buildings, they're placed in very specific places to bring the building down a very specific way so that it doesn't hurt anything next to it, right? And so the way that the building came down, I feel like that's what happened. Yes, Brian.
So with the way that the building came down, what happens is when you have a tower that tall and that shape, and at the top of it is where your weight and where the compression starts, what happens is it's an accordion effect. So as everything starts pushing down, all of the air and everything on that lower portion is going to push out. That energy has to go somewhere. So as you're here, if you start moving at the top and you push, just like in an accordion, you're pushing all of the air and all of the material underneath that down, which means it has to go somewhere. So you see windows blowing out and puffs of smoke coming out because you're starting to push down.
Okay, so the jet crashes into one side of the building.
Yep.
It doesn't cut the building in half. It's not big enough to cut the building in half.
Yes.
So it impacts one side. Most of the structural defects are on that side of the building. Most of the heat is on that side of the building. Why did the building, the top part, not tip? Why did it come straight down?
Because when the plane hits, the force of the plane, everybody who, if you've ever been in a building and you see exposed beams and you see the cottage cheese looking stuff that's on that's flame retardant. That is sprayed onto that. That's
all of that is going to be on one side of it for the
not when you have
the fire will spread.
But the force of the airplane at the speed that it was going, it doesn't hit and then just stop. It's just like Dale Earnhardt. Why did his head fall off? Because he hit a wall at a great speed, and the momentum is going to push you forward. So when that plane hits, it hits at such a speed with such momentum that once you start to break through and you knock all of that stuff off of beams and you get fire, now you have a fire that's happening.
The size of that building to the size of that plane and impacting it on one side, it is not going to just squeeze through it. Those planes are built to be light and collapse easy. So they're not just plowing through that building to the middle of the building with an even distribution of heat on both buildings. That's a little bit much. I don't believe in all those coincidences.
Right.
Especially when another building that doesn't get hit by a plane collapses in the same fashion. Part of my argument was that I had found a website a long time ago that had a bunch of these conspiracy theorists that you could click on and find all about. And these are people that were like the leaders in moving forward with certain arguments, and they all disappear. They all end up dying or randomly committing suicide. And I could not even find the name of the guy that was a demolition expert who was leading that whole he was in the news and everything, and he just killed himself after this, just like all these other conspiracy theorists do. But it's, to me, I get even distribution of heat. I get if it comes straight down, but the impact was on one side and the other. Remember when the second plane hit and there was no video until 2 days later? Why
No, I
didn't
don't.
video 2 days later?
I don't remember
seeing it that
that.
day.
Yeah, I don't remember that part. Sorry, go ahead with your thought on that.
Yeah, I remember seeing it the day that it happened. The first plane hit, got woke up, and then the second one
the
we saw.
explosion on the second one. Then they had a video from another angle all of a sudden, watching that plane go into it.
I'd have to go back and watch. Rob could be right.
For the control,
it's the way that building, I just don't get how it impacts on one side and then just goes right into the middle and blows up and evenly heats up everything so it comes straight down.
Right. Well, because I'm thinking,
weird.
Why did the whole building come down? Why wouldn't have just a portion of that building? Granted, yes, I know it's heavy up there and whatever, but yes, I don't know why it didn't like break off and, stop at some point instead of just boom, all the way to the bottom. I mean, because there was videos from so many different angles from different people around the city who, when it happened, they were like from their apartment building, they were, I had a friend that was working off of Manhattan there on a little island that's out there for a construction company. He's project manager, and we were on the phone after the first plane had hit, and we were on the phone when the second building was hit, and he was like, holy shit, just screaming, like he was like, the fireball was so big, like it could be seen. I mean, and he's far removed from the situation basically, but he can still see the buildings. So there was just so many different views and things that happened. And after the tower collapsed, he was saying that like there was even paperwork from the desks of people that worked in that building that made its way all the way over to this small piece of land out there in the water. So it was just wild to me that there was, yes, there's a lot of force. It's a tall building. How many stories was it? I don't even remember.
210.
Yeah.
But I also I think that, so these guys got on board of the plane with box cutters and took over the whole plane. That seems weird, because to me, a couple people could overpower them guys easily and you would take some cuts, maybe a casualty. But I don't understand how these guys took over a plane with a couple box cutters.
Yeah.
And how do we know that? Were they on the radio saying, hey, there's a bunch of box cutter wielding maniacs? Or
the phone calls from a passenger.
Yeah, the phone calls from the family members. So
somebody they were on here with box cutters or whatever.
Yeah. So we can't overpower 4 guys with box cutters.
Well, here's I'd like to rebut first with the controlled demolition. So the controlled demolition theory that people have, it's a decent one because of how it looks. The only problem becomes when we have a hotel in Las Vegas, Rich, how long does it take them to set up that controlled demolition?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I don't think they set it up that day.
Okay, fair enough. They didn't set it up that day. So what they're able to do is they're able to set up a controlled demolition over the course of days, weeks, months. And they're able to do that without anything appearing different inside the building on the walls, anywhere. Usually when you do a controlled demolition, you're not exactly going in there to do finish work. You're trying to bring a building down. I think that just because of the way that it looks doesn't mean that that has to be what happened, especially when there is a counter argument of physics that goes along with that on why the building would fall that way. And as for the box cutters, one, we have family members that made phone calls from the airplanes. And if we want to say that that was faked or coerced or something crazy, that's insane. There's no way. That's disrespectful.
You're right. There's no way that could happen, because back in 99 and 2000 and 2001, when you had those Nokia bricks and you had to walk 3 blocks to make a phone call, everybody on there, and I hardly knew anybody that had those phones, everybody on that plane, bunch of people, great signal, hey, listen, this is what's going on.
They weren't using cell phones. They were using the airplane phone.
Airplane phones?
They were using the airplane phone that was on the airplane.
On the back of the seat.
That's fine. That's fine. However they called radio, satellite radio, that's fine. That whole plane could not take over.
When was the last time somebody used an airplane to hit a building and use it that way? They hadn't. Up until that point, when terrorists would be on an airplane, they were either trying to take control of the airplane or take hostages. We can go all the way back to, yes, that's the way that it used to work.
Somebody pulls a box cutter on me, I'm punching them in the face.
But that's because 9/11 has happened. If it was any time before 9/11, anytime somebody DB Cooper, they all didn't have everybody tackle DB Cooper. The whole point of when people used to hide...
Was he packing a box cutter?
No, he was packing a bomb, supposedly. But at that time, that's what people did.
That's a little bit different. I got a bomb and I'm going to detonate it, as opposed to somebody wielding a box cutter.
In the movie Airplane...
I'd be trying taking them out.
Where did they have that? Up their ass or something to get that on the plane?
There wasn't the same level of security that was at the airport.
They didn't go through metal detectors
9/11. It didn't exist. In the movie Airplane 2, they make a joke with Sonny Bono's character as he's going through the airport. He gets to buy what device he wants to use to take over the airplane, because they would take hostages and ransom it for money. That's what they did. So the operational procedure was different, especially in people's mind. If you're on that plane, there's no way everybody on that plane thought this guy is going to crash this plane with all of us on it. That wouldn't have been a thought. People, the plane is being taken over now today. What's 9/11
was going to do with the plane?
That's not happening. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
What now? Yeah, now that would not happen.
I would have did it 20 years, 30 years ago. I wouldn't sit there and let somebody...
I wish that somebody else would have, but
I just can't imagine all them planes and not all of them were a bunch of pussies.
No,
but then you're discrediting what the families were calling home and saying, and that means that the people they were talking to didn't know that who was it that they were talking to?
No, well, so here's the thing though. There was the one flight that there were people that had called and left messages on the answering machine to their family and said, look, there's some of us guys are getting together and we're going to
Flight 93.
Bum rush this guy, right? So now I want to clarify a little bit. Do I think that the U.S. government is solely responsible for this and that they cooked it up? No. But do I think that there's some involvement? Yes. And to what end? I was asked, and I was like, well, okay, we had the war started right after that, right? But here's my thinking of one possible scenario of why I think that the government could have been involved. I think they potentially knew that this was a potential threat, that this thing was going to pop off. I think somebody was trying to, and I'm not a political analyst. I'm not I'm not the smartest person in the world. So this is just my armchair quarterback look on things. Okay. But I think that there was some sort of demands that may have been being made from the American government, from particular maybe politicians, from something going on. They wanted some deals somewhere, and they were trying to strong arm us into doing XYZ, or maybe looking the other way, maybe something in the midst that they wanted our cooperation, and saying, if you don't, we're going to make sure that we make this happen. Similar to kind of what's going on now without going into politics. I'm not going to do that, but similar to what's going on now, we are now in another country on behalf of another country because of deals that are going on. So
you're right, because George Bush wanted to procure the oil, the oil
I like that's the way you said it.
in over there and wherever. Was he wanted to do that. There was also, he took a lot of criticism because he supposedly they had some insight on this and let it happen.
right, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I think, like,
I'm
I
not
don't
saying that
think
necessarily George Bush planned the whole thing,
right.
and sent in all these guys to do the stuff. I just like to wrap my brain around, jets being taken over by box cutters. Like, holy fuck, just seems almost ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
couldn't
agree.
even rob me with a box cutter.
Right.
And take over a whole plane and the direct hits, and just seems like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So to
and
me, it's tough. It's tough for me to just grab that and say, okay, well, this guy took a plane with a bomb, and this guy took a plane with a gun. Man, they fucking were spot on with that shit.
right. And I think the thing is that the reason that I think that governments can obviously, like, be in on something shady. I mean, we've already had, like, conspiracies that were proven true, right? Like, there was the Tuskegee syphilis study that people were being called crazy that was going on, but that actually happened. There was MK Ultra from the 50s to the 70s, where they were saying the CIA ran this, thing, and they were calling these people crazy. Again, more people going missing that are trying to put this stuff out there. Same thing now. We got people going missing because one of the biggest stories that are going on right now in our country, right? We have people that are supposedly killing themselves. So, there was Operation Northwood, which was in 1962. I have a list here: Gulf of Tonkin incident, and COINTELPRO from 1956 to 1971. Most of these involved the CIA. A couple of them involved the FBI. But I'm just saying, like, even just speaking from our country's perspective, we've already had conspiracies that people were called crazy for so long that were finally proven true. And so that's why I don't poo-poo totally anybody that thinks that it could be an inside job. I don't think it was a total inside job, so I just wanted to clarify that. But I do think that there's some
I'm open-minded about the other parts of it, but I do believe that it was at least let happen, so then they had a reason to go and invade.
Yeah.
That's the most logical take, even for Pearl Harbor. We had information of Pearl Harbor that we just didn't get to the right people in time.
Yeah.
And when Eisenhower left office, he made a point of saying not to trust the military-industrial complex. He was very specific, which will dovetail nicely into perhaps one of my conspiracies, if I'm lucky enough. But if you look at this situation and you say you have an industrial military complex, you have war hawks, you have a lot of money that gets made, that is there a possibility that there was information of something that could possibly happen and people just didn't act fast enough and it gives you impetus to turn that machine on? Sure. I think if you discredit that altogether, I think that's a little bit naive, knowing things that we know now. But do I think that there's a controlled demolition and everything is all set up? No, I think two things can be true. I think people may have let something happen, but, there's also the people that actually perpetrated it too. It's a tragedy.
Yeah. So anybody else interested in that kind of stuff, I'll put some links to some old YouTube stuff, Rob, if you want to, send me over anything that you came up in your, before I turn it over to somebody else, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up about this, Rob? I didn't want to cut you short.
No, that's fine. I didn't know if you were going to leave me on the wheel.
Nope.
to talk about my other theory or my other conspiracy.
Do you want to be on the wheel?
Let's just see how much time we have.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to take up too much time.
All right. Well, let's see who's going to go next.
Now I need to know what Rob's other stuff
Rob,
is.
I just want to high five you really quick. We did it. All right. Let's see who goes next.
That sound's going to make me bleed from the ears.
Ooh.
Oh, Ricardo.
Rich,
I was sweating for a
why
minute.
is it really?
Suddenly, I
really
want a
loud?
soda.
Is it really loud on your end?
What's loud on my end?
No, it's just a silly
Oh.
sound.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
trying to be silly.
Just
Just
silly.
Just
silly.
Just being silly.
Let's talk to your silly brother.
Gee, now for the big surprise, what mine is. Except for BJ, who wasn't
I
here.
really
when
wasn't
said
even
earlier.
listening either, so I don't know.
I got it.
Elvis is alive.
I didn't realize it was a secret. So when I said it, I'm like, oh shit. I know I fucked up, but I guess I didn't.
I didn't
So,
hear you, so.
it's okay. Okay, now on to a lighter subject. Maybe not so controversial, and no, maybe nobody will argue with me.
I
Maybe
will.
you will.
I'm great at it. Yes, Amy.
Why am I next to Rob now?
See, Rob's down there now.
The hell?
Everything
How'd
just
Rob
keeps
get up
moving.
there?
He did. Everybody switched on mine. So.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How long's that been like that?
Ah,
Mine is the new
Punch
Coke,
Brian.
the new Coke conspiracy. So here is the theory. Okay,
Are we
It's a
talking
popular-
Are we talking
Coca-Cola or
blow?
cocaine?
Coca-Cola? Yeah,
Cocaine.
Coca-Cola back in the
Talking about
80s.
new cocaine.
Well, I mean, there was cocaine in.
They don't
original
smell the
Coke.
same.
Okay, I'll see.
Yeah, one smells like baby laxative.
Oh shit. It says the new Coke conspiracy is a popular theory suggesting that Coca-Cola introduced new Coke to boost sales of the original formula, but evidence shows is actually a marketing miscalculation. So this is what happened. Most of us should remember this. I think I vaguely remember back in 1985 is when Coca-Cola faced the market was starting to decline, and all the fights, the soda fights with Pepsi. It was always the Pepsi Coca-Cola thing, going back and forth. And on TV, you always saw the taste testing. It was a big thing. They both had their own distinct flavors, and Pepsi was starting to take over a lot of what Coca-Cola originally had. So, especially among the younger younger kids or the younger demographic, were starting to lean more towards the Pepsi flavor.
Pepsi.
For the record, I like Coke better than I like Pepsi.
Hell yeah. Huzzah.
Yeah,
because that's like the taste testing, right? They have distinct different tastes. I don't know.
I believe. Oh yeah.
Could not
Pepsi
tell
tastes
the
like
difference because one tastes like cola and Coke tastes like ass. So
Rob, don't do this.
Agreed.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, let's just take a poll.
Oh,
All
God.
the Coke fans, raise your hand.
Like Diet Coke. I don't know.
Diet Coke.
but
Yeah,
that
count. Diet Coke.
that
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Well,
Diet Coke?
yeah.
Does
Does
not
count.
Coke is
Diet
right
Coke.
here.
It counts.
Right here. Diet Coke.
Rob,
Although, you know what I used to...
how many
I-
sugars do you put in your coffee?
I don't drink coffee. It tastes like ass, like Coke.
Oh, God.
Wow, Pepsi just tastes like saccharine, sweet,
tastes
sugared
so
down
gross.
like just
Oh.
gross syrup water.
You should have asked me.
Ugh.
You should have asked me how much sugar I put in my tea, and that's
Well,
a shit ton.
There you go. Then it all makes sense. That's it.
Okay, but just real quick, and I'll give it back to
When you drink, Rob, do you drink like this then, with the little finger
the
out?
tea?
Well, yes, because I'm
With your
fancy.
tea? Toity.
Okay, how many people liked RC?
I like RC.
I
RC's
liked
not bad.
RC back in the day, but I
Not
recently
bad.
tried it, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't that good.
Oh, really?
It tastes like Coke."
Oh, that's why we like it. There we go. That makes sense.
I don't remember ever having that thing with sodas back years ago where I even cared what I drank because there was a flavor to it. You go Coke, Pepsi, whatever. I don't care. But as I've gotten older, I just, for some reason, I do the Coke Zero. I don't do any of the sugar stuff. So
Right,
Well, if
I do Pepsi Zero, but back in
Yeah.
the day, I lived on Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
I
Dr.
like
Pepper, yeah.
As backups was always Mountain Dew or Barks Root Beer.
Yeah.
But then I stopped doing the sugar, and I started doing Zero. I don't know, Pepsi Zero.
Well, I can
I've
tell
been
you.
recently defending Pepsi because I used to never drink either Coke or Pepsi.
Well, when I go to a restaurant and I order a Diet Coke and they say, "Is Pepsi okay?" I laugh because I don't think anybody should ask that question because no, it's not okay. No. I'll take
Well,
an unsweet
because
iced
some
tea then.
people just refer to all cola as Coke or Pepsi, so
True.
they
I
just
mean, down south,
so they
yes.
I
just
would
say
agree
they
with
don't
that.
say I want a
But-
cola.
Right.
They
Well,
say
they want a pop.
Coke or Pepsi because
Yep.
if they offer me Coke, I will not drink it. I really do not like it.
Because
So
what
I
it tastes
will
like,
not
Rob?
drink Coke.
Tastes like
I
ass.
will not drink Diet Coke, and I'll be like, well, I'll just have water or something, or tea with
Yeah.
lots of sugar.
I will not drink it on a boat. I will not
Yeah, I
drink it
do a
on
lot of
Yes.
the water thing too.
I
Yes,
also
All right.
feel
Well,
All right.
here's what the actual here's
sorry,
is
go
the
ahead.
conspiracy theory of this whole thing. The theory claims that Coca-Cola deliberately launched the new Coke to make everybody mad and provoke outrage, knowing that everybody's going to demand we want the old Coke back. We don't like this new stuff. Thereby increasing the Coca-Cola Classic sales. And they also the whole thing points to dramatic spikes in the original formula after New Coke was pulled back from that. So Coca-Cola kind of benefited on a couple ends. They benefited from the new Coke hype, then they benefited from going back to the Coke Classic. So then you had, because you were selling both, because people that never had the new Coke were trying it anyway. So
I
they were
did not
getting
like the
sales
new
there.
Coke.
Bingo.
You know, everybody tried it because they were, oh shit, it's new. Let's try it. So they were benefiting from those sales. And then when they found out after 79 days, it took 79 days, and they pulled it because, come
That
on.
right there is your proof that
Exactly.
they set it up. Is that it was 79 days? Come on.
Exactly.
maybe
So then
it
they
was
went
just
back
a
to
bad batch, and they were like, we can't throw it away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they messed it up, and they were like, we can't throw it all away. We'll just go through and design a new one and only sell it for a couple months till we run out.
Right.
And then it was like hard to
Yes.
find, so everybody wanted it.
And the difference with the new Coke was that it was no sugar. It was the whatever that syrup is.
High fructose corn
Yes.
syrup. They made it to taste more like stupid Pepsi.
Yes, they were trying to compete with the Pepsi
Sweeter.
thing
Stupid
because
Pepsi.
the Pepsi, because those taste tests that we alluded to,
Stupid
that
Pepsi.
more of the younger demographics were picking Pepsi over Coke is how that started with the taste test stuff. So Coke said, shit, we got to do something. They did that. They tried to do this, So it was a marketing thing, but everybody thinks that, it was some type of conspiracy that there was more mischievous stuff going on there. But,
So I just looked it up, and Coke outsells Pepsi by a lot. But the thing, I probably have never thought about this once in my life since I was 15, I guess, at that time. Probably didn't really think about it then because I didn't drink Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
Has this been plaguing your mind all these years? Or how did you come up with this theory? I mean, not the theory, but that you picked this.
Because it was Saturday night and Rich had to find a fucking story. So Rich went online and said, find a goddamn conspiracy. And that's what happened. Any other questions?
No, I was just curious. I was curious if this was a thing. He was like, fucking Coke and I
was like you, Rob.
Since 1985.
Rob, I was like you. I wanted to go obscure because I wanted to make sure that nobody else was probably going to pick my story.
But if you're drinking and you get real drunk with Rich, and he's like, and everybody's talking theories of God or this and that, and he's like, what's fake?
Goddamn Coke.
No, it's fake. I'll tell you it's fake.
Well, there's only one good way to end Rich's turn on this, and
what's that?
Sing it with me here. I'd like to teach the world.
Oh,
well, here's another failed part. New Coke even employed Bill Cosby to promote it, so that should tell
that
you
was a great move.
Yeah. Everybody drink the bite of soda that there is on the planet.
Did Paranormal write the jingle?
I may have heard that somebody did. Yeah, I think you might. I don't know if it's Barry Manilow, but
sure, because my mom had a Barry Manilow album, and he did a bunch of jingles in a row, like 3 of them that he wrote in a row.
God, I remember riding around in my mom's woody side station wagon with the Barry Manilow 8 tracks, and we just drive around and listen to Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, think about it this way: if you're Coke and everybody likes this Pepsi, so you need to get something back, so you come up with your sweeter new version. Worst case scenario. Worst case, we go back to the original. Best case, we can now sell new Coke and original Coke and double the market. People didn't like it. They rebelled. So they said, okay, well, let's go back to the original. Easy. Yeah. Come on.
You know, it says
marketing 101.
It says Coke outsells Pepsi, but Pepsi brings in over twice the revenue because
they own
their snack. Yeah, they have other snacks.
Yeah.
They have a lot more. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, PepsiCo shit, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for lightening the mood a little bit, Rich.
That's what I'm here for.
Why it was intense before. You know, I typed in "did Barry Manilow," and the first thing that comes up, like before I even finish Manilow, is smoke. Like that's really what everybody's like. That's the big thing.
That's what everybody's
to know.
Hey, he's what got me in trouble in Vegas.
No, he did not.
That's what got me in trouble when I was told that I'm the worst out of all of us. But let's continue.
No, he did. He wrote the Band-Aid commercial though.
No.
Was it one of the Beatles that did the
Band-Aid
Coke
one? Because Band-Aid stuff.
Was it?
I could see George doing that.
I'm wondering. I think it was
I can't
somebody.
See George doing a jingle. I don't think any of the Beatles, except for Paul, would probably stoop that low. They were hippies.
How dare you talk about Paul that way? Take it back, Rob.
Take it back. If it's one of the Beatles, I'm out.
Hey, wait a minute. Paul McCartney isn't even Paul McCartney anyways, right? He died in a car accident.
That was one of my other ones I wanted to do.
Okay, right here.
I just thought about it now. I wish I would have did it.
Originally a pop song, I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing was adapted into a jingle for Coca-Cola created by Roger Cook and Roger Greenway.
And Rob, the reason why people are asking
to buy the world a home and furnish it with love.
Okay, you're Jenny.
This is the original.
I like to teach the world to sing with me.
I still didn't get the song.
I keep it company.
Sorry, I just had to. Okay.
Jenny, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Barry Manilow has lung cancer. That's why people are asking.
Oh, that's
and
too
it's so
bad.
sad because we took my mom to go see him about a year ago, and it was a fantastic performance, even though he's old as shit. He did the Copacabana. He did all the songs, and he had like the background where his younger self was singing the harmony. I mean, it was so much fun.
That's so cool.
Right in the right place. So, but it was a fantastic concert. It was awesome. My mom had a wonderful time, but she did tell me that he had lung cancer, so he's not performing right now.
So those of you under the age of 40 will probably need to look up most of these references, but that's okay. They're worth looking up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who goes next. A ring-a-ding-ding. Let's see. Oh, Amy starts sweating.
Damn it.
It's you.
He said, damn it.
It's fine. Because mine is so depressing, but
okay, now let's put our serious faces back on.
I didn't do a ton of research because I feel like, I mean, it's just common sense to me that you should believe it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody would argue this, but I mean,
Brian will. I guarantee.
Okay, well, Brian, then I hope yes.
And I probably will.
I hope you can prove me wrong, but I definitely think with the Food and Drug Administration that everybody's in bed together, the drug people, the food people, and I think they have many cures for many things. And because it's such a money market, scam situation, they'll never cure anything because they're keeping it under wraps and they just want to take money.
Right, it's the Food and Drug Administration.
Like, how is that? Yeah. How are you able to have them both together? That's like working up. It's like you shouldn't be working together.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not sure.
Like no one can argue that.
Happens in other countries, but I know that we've learned that too. But it's a fact that certain ingredients are not allowed in other countries that we use here. And even trying like Doritos in Ireland compared to out here are completely different.
Yeah.
Were they
And I
better?
saw. Oh, sorry.
I feel
saw
like they were like almost like flakier. Like, you know, you eat
Ooh.
Doritos and it's like sometimes you get stabbed. Like
Yes.
they're not like that. They're like flakier,
Ooh.
and they didn't have Cool Ranch. They had ranch. It also doesn't have as much seasoning on it, but it has more of that corn flavor coming through, which I thought they were really.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that sounds
I
like a
like them
delight.
better.
You can
They call
order
their-
those off of Amazon though.
Oh
They
really?
call all
Yes.
of their chips
Oh sweet.
crisps.
Yeah, hell
So,
yeah.
Their crisps were great.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see a clip where, you know, these brats were made in Germany, right? And they made the German brats and the American brats in the same facility, but they were dumping a ton of sugar in the American brats because that's how it was ordered. And that's so weird to me to think that, like, I don't know. It just blows my mind that they can get away with that and
don't
just
do anything
withhold
about it.
everything. Even like people with a ton of money, like they're just not able to get the cures for anything because they don't want it to get out that, you know, if we cured cancer, it would be like, oh my God, saving so much money.
yeah.
So that's that kind of stuff. You know, there's a
Because
bunch
companies
of stuff.
would lose money. I mean,
Well,
there's
yeah, but
like
I mean-
right now, I mean, for instance, I know somebody that has severe sleep apnea, right? And they cannot tolerate the CPAP machine. So now there's a medication out that is approved to help with sleep apnea, and that's Zepbound, which is also used for weight loss. A lot
new
of times, the
sponsor.
problem with sleep apnea does have to do with a need for like losing weight or whatever. And some people have a huge challenge in getting weight in certain areas to kind of, you know, go away. So, not even using it from a weight loss perspective of like, I want to have this glamorous body, but I want my body to function better. So they have this wonderful drug now. And now the insurance companies are like, not all of them, just this person's. No. We'll pay for it, but we need you to go through all these steps first. So they have to go. They had to try the CPAP machine, so they had to have almost 3 different sleep studies done so they could check the different masks. So we have all of those visits at the hospital, right, that are getting paid out, and everything is marked up by thousands of dollars. Kez had a surgery done that we were going to pay for out of pocket, and then found out it would go through insurance. So we did that. So the initial quote that they gave us for $10,000 for this procedure has now turned into $40,000 once insurance got involved. So now we owe more in copays. They're trying to say we owe more in copays than what we would have from the original quote. So now this person has to go have these sleep studies done, pay all of this out of pocket stuff. They have to try all these different masks, which cost money, time, emissions, getting delivered to the house, you know, all this stuff. And then they have to try some other medication, and then once they have a study done, and then the doctors have to like fill out all this paperwork, only then will it be considered of whether or not they'll pay for this medication. And this takes months because to get into anywhere, to get anything done here, people think it's bad where there's universal health care. No, we're sitting here at long wait times in this country to even get into anything. I know friends that live overseas that have no problems getting into the doctor when it's something urgent that they need to go for. So that's just another myth. That's another conspiracy theory right there. But yeah, I agree with you, Amy. I have to agree with you on
and
that.
I just think that our ingredients in our food is making us sick, and then we go see the doctor, and then they, you know what I mean, and then they get their hand out, and then they prescribe stuff to, you know, the drug company, and then it's just a big circle. More pills fix the problems that probably the ingredients in our food, you know, is causing, where you could just
and then
change
the side effects of those medications have to be treated with other medications.
Yes.
And what we need is medical doctors who know this to step forward and speak up, because we need trained professionals that know the science behind all this to like give us direction.
What?
Right.
Yeah, some of them tried to do
Kennedy
that.
in there right now.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say anything else.
The whole doctors trying to step up and say stuff. Some of them tried that during COVID, and people told them to shut the fuck up. So I suppose they're not going to be too eager to say anything now. But for Amy, you're right. Everybody should believe this one because I don't think it's a conspiracy. Tobacco companies, once they started getting slapped down, bought snack companies to get us hooked on other shit.
Yes.
We have
Like
video
vapes.
of Pfizer executive undercover video when he's getting honeypotted, and he's saying out loud that COVID is going to be the cash cow for them. Like, none of this is even conspiracy bound. It's just, I'm sure if you were to ask anybody who works for one of these corporations, they would tell you it's just good business with a smile.
And it's the same thing with like social media and the digital age. That's causing an increase in mental health issues, body issues. There's so many different things. Then we have more people with eating disorders, more people like, what are the suicide rates looking like? There's just so much. I mean, I'm not going to report on all of this like I'm some kind of reporter and know all the news, but these are things you think about. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, screw social media, except for us. We're cool.
Except for us, yeah, we're cool.
Except for anything for our 3
control,
podcasts.
Gina.
Huh?
You're out of control.
I know. I'm on a roll.
Our social media.
I am fired up.
Easy.
But that's pretty much what I had. And I don't see how anybody can really dispute it, even though.
No argument from any of us.
Amy says, if you dispute it, you're stupid.
You're stupid.
Well,
also,
the people who drink Pepsi.
You're like, that's not true.
Well, what'd you say, Amy? I didn't hear that.
I said, as they're eating their Doritos, that's not true.
You ever hear the commercial for the farmer's dog? And they're like, listen, no living thing should ever have to go through life eating processed food only, And then we start making our homemade food for the dogs. And you go, hey, we're a living thing too. Maybe we shouldn't be eating so much processed shit too. Yeah. So
100%.
Hey,
I feel like we made some headway with that. Woo.
Yeah,
that's good.
All right, let's see who's next.
Come on, Jenny.
Who's it gonna be? There's 50-50 shot here.
Oh, I think there's thunder outside.
Jenny.
All right. So I made an effort to try to stay away from government conspiracies. That was my goal. So
good
job. Next to impossible. So
I did.
My conspiracy theory is creators of The Simpsons predict the future.
Yes. That's a good one.
Here we go.
There was like 30 different examples, and about 15 of them were about the government. So I'll just skip all those. We've done enough of that. We're done with that right now.
Did they predict the Titanic was going to sink?
What's that?
Did they predict the Titanic was going to sink?
No, they did not.
Then
that happened before they were a thing. But
no, but did they predict that the Olympic is really the thing that sank and they switched to stupid boats?
That's another conspiracy I really wanted to go about, but I thought I better not.
We need a special guest for that one.
We need a whole episode for that one again.
Yes, we do.
I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be fun. So The Simpsons, they are known for being able to predict the future. They've done things like in 2000, they had an episode that was about how Donald Trump was the president, and now they're trying to clean up after that mess. Okay, so that was one of them. Another one was predicting the Nobel Prize winner in 2010, Nobel Prize winner in 2016. They've done predictions for multiple sports events, soccer, different types of sports. One of their larger, and they got into like Ebola and COVID and all that stuff. We won't go there. But in 1998, they actually predicted the Higgs boson. And this is something I know you're probably pretty familiar with because you have friends in that space.
Wait, they predicted what?
Higgs boson.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's the God particle from CERN. It's actually an actual huge discovery in 2012.
Yes.
So it is the particle that kind of explained why it explained everything has mass. It was one of these very huge discoveries. And there was a formula that was on an episode of The Simpsons in 1998. and it was freakishly close to the formula of the boson that happened in 2012. So this was like all over social media, and this was something that everybody was kind of freaked out about. They're predicting the future, all of that kind of thing. Other things like Siegfried and Roy, the tiger attack. They had an episode back in 1993.
That's an easy one, though.
Right, because eventually,
two guys working with tigers. Yeah, eventually something's
in Vegas.
I'm gonna get there. So they had that episode, and then that actually happened in 2003. Also in 2012, they predicted that Lady Gaga was going to be in the Super Bowl and she was going to be suspended in the air, and that's exactly what happened in 2017. Another example was Disney owns Fox in 1998. They had that up on their screen in one of their episodes, and in 2017 that actually happened after $50 billion later. So there's all these different examples along with pictures that in their episode, now we're seeing current day, these pictures are coming to life. And so the whole, did they really predict the future? And my take on this is, sure they did. They absolutely did. It's not like they were time traveling. I mean, they did the numbers. So, for example, it's stated that The Simpsons is one of the longest running shows of all times, 29 seasons, 120,000 jokes. They have more opportunity to be able to come up with a prediction because they're just telling jokes all the time and there's all these things. But what really fascinated me about this one was the shocking level of accuracy. For example, that formula. The creators of The Simpsons are like freakishly intelligent and highly educated, and they're buddies with people who are like on the edge of technology, the edge of all of these different things. And I bet you they do know about things that are going to happen way before anybody else does. And so when you look at, the tiger example, let's do an episode because that tiger's probably going to take them out eventually, and then that would be awesome. It's all satire. They're making.
That's not awesome. Let's take that part back. It's not awesome that Montecore did that.
No, that they would.
Okay, now continue.
But yes, I agree.
We don't condone eating people.
So,
well,
what's that?
Continue on. Nothing.
Unless your plane crashes, and I mean.
Yeah, there was a lot of political stuff going on, but
there's a joke.
They're physicists, they're mathematicians, they're philosophers. They've got all these different education pieces and computer science, and I mean they've probably spent a lot of time and effort trying to use satire to think about what could possibly happen if we follow down this path. Let's do an episode about that. And now folks think that they're like time traveling and being able to predict the future and all of that. And I say, yeah, they're predicting the future. That's the whole thing of what they're doing with their satire and making these episodes and saying this could possibly happen. And they're right a lot of the time.
Do you think that
just like Nostradamus made how many predictions? Sure, some of them came true, but what is the percentage of what came true? So if you sit around making predictions all day, eventually you're going to hit the lottery jackpot.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny, I'm curious to think, do you think that the predictions are merely just from the intellectual history and makeup of all these people and that they're guessing, or do you think that they have some sort of pulse on the future that we don't know about?
Well, I think there's probably a combination. I think that first off, they're lucky sometimes. They've got a lot of opportunity to be right. But I also, there was an example related to space tourism. And they talked about how in the episode, they had Richard Branson on the episode, and he was a billionaire, and he was going to be doing tourism in space. And in 2026, that's exactly what he did. And some of that he's doing, the pictures line up almost perfectly. And here was the episode back in 2021. Here's the episode in 2026. I believe that they do have some of that inside scoop. I think they know what might happen in the future. Same with President Trump. They knew that he was a very powerful figure, and he was even on Oprah talking about becoming president. And they probably did some investigating on that topic to see what are the odds of him becoming president. I think that there are some connections.
Right, but like the famous escalator scene
Oh, yeah.
where, if you remember, even down to the outfit matched and how he was like standing on the escalator and, they put that side by side. So
he always wears the same outfit, though he changes his tie, but wears the same blue suit. But I think you hit the nail on the head with the satire part, Jenny. I mean, that by virtue of it being satire on that show, that's what you're doing. I bet if we took Mad Magazine or Cracked Magazine and we cracked those open and we went over the past 20 years through there, I bet we could start circling stuff that actually happened. Just by virtue of comedy and satire, you play off of the things around you. And again, the Donald Trump one, that's not a hard one. He talked about it. That's a joke that would be made. He's going to be president, ha ha ha. So that's not that far out of left field. The Richard Branson thing, I like the idea that maybe somebody has a connection to Richard Branson and maybe he talked about it and they throw in that Easter egg. But I don't think that these are necessarily predictions or Nostradamus predictions. I mean, it's like the great Adam Carolla would always say, Da Vinci gets credit for inventing things because he drew a picture. Like, just because Da Vinci draws the picture of like a circle with a stick on the top and then some blades on it and then draws clouds behind it and we go, he invented the helicopter. That would be like taking a piece of paper, drawing two tubes and then putting a stick figure in one and then putting arrows to the other and go, I invented teleportation. No, you drew a shitty picture on a napkin at a bar one day. That doesn't make you a soothsayer or a fortune teller or have a crystal ball. Like it's all just... It's just like everything else, like George Carlin said, 50-50. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not.
Well,
and always pissing in the Cheerios.
A couple of the things that I found really interesting, there was recently a picture, like in 2026, there was a picture of Donald Trump and two other figures, and there's a glowing ball, and all three of them are standing there touching the glowing ball. And there was a Simpsons episode, trying to see if I have that date.
Wait, that happened in real life?
Yes, that happened in real life.
What?
Like a glowing ball, and they were...
Well, what's the glowing ball?
Well, I don't know what the glowing ball is. I was just learning about that one today. But that the actual episode, if you look at that episode and you look at the picture in 2026, they're like identical, and there are many years in between. So that one was kind of freaky. The one that was most convincing was the formula, but turns out the person who actually wrote that episode was really good friends with David Sherminovich, and he was a mathematician and he was a physicist, and he had all these different pieces of education. And what he did was he told him, I need this to be true. So they came up with a formula that was true, so that people who know something about that world would be able to say, and that's true. And it was within this percentage of accuracy. And there was like, I don't know, 15 zeros and then, 0.000019. And how can they be that close? But if you're in that physics world and you understand physics, it's actually pretty far off. So I think that there's a combination of things happening, but I don't know how that whole newest picture. I do have a link to one of the videos that I watched that really talked about, is this coincidence? Is this likely just because of the numbers? These are very intelligent people, and we'll make sure we get that in the actual podcast here. But yeah, there's some pretty interesting things. And if you check out that YouTube video, it'll describe that picture of the three very highly well-known people, and going back to the Simpsons episode where they talked about that, and they had the same picture. So
that was a good one.
Did we talk about this in line for Starlight Racers, or am I just having deja vu?
I don't know if we did. I don't know if, the other thing that they had a three-eyed fish. I just got to throw that out there. I thought that was pretty funny. That are three-eyed fish, and then apparently this was about climate disasters, but in Japan they found a three-eyed fish and it was on the news. So that was another one where it was kind of like, oh,
Anybody could find that.
Anybody's gonna find that.
They could find. They were finding those in Ohio.
Yeah,
Ohio.
yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a fun one to research, and there was a lot of content. So, for those of you that are interested, I think of South Park, and I was never a big South Park fan. It was just not my thing. But I like watched the documentary, and those guys are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant people, and I had a whole different appreciation for them, and I think that's some of what's happening with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The Black Friday trilogy is a chef's kiss to Game of Thrones, and all the Coon ones. Those are really funny too. Coon and Friends.
Yeah.
Go check it out, everybody.
We will have to.
There, that
Brian?
wraps up our show.
You're up.
Oh, but the wheel didn't spin. I thought that when you don't have anybody left, then that's the end.
Oh,
and
no,
then we
your
go
name
until
is
the next.
Your name is still on it.
No way, because I did that too. I made her spin it one time with just my name.
There we go.
Oh.
Let's
Okay,
make it
if it's not the yellow or the red one, then I don't have to do it.
To land on the line.
Oh, you guys are so lucky. Okay, so we'll make it a little bit lighter. Do you guys want to talk about Hitler or Epstein?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Those are our two options.
Well,
see, this is why I say you should just end it, because we're going to...
If we want... All right, wait. That's a...
One has aliens. Actually, they both technically have it. Fucking Hitler. God damn it. Yeah, they both have aliens, but I don't know if that's involved in that conspiracy.
Let's talk about Hitler.
Yeah.
You guys want to do that one?
Do Epstein. You really want to do Epstein.
Obviously you want to do Epstein, so...
That one, because that's what... Okay. We'll pull the curtain back. Me and Will like to do this over at Wrestling with the Realm podcast. Every once in a while, we like to pull the curtain back on how we come up with this bullshit. So this whole conception of the wheel of conspiracy, because I was dropping some of this on Gina, and she was like, oh my God, I love this. We'll save the Hitler one, I guess. Okay, so because of all the Epstein shit that comes out, guys know how, like, at first we were all expecting one thing, like we thought we knew what was going on, or at least the gist of it.
Yeah.
You go, horrible, horrible shit, but we thought we kind of knew what it was. And then you start finding out about, like, the bizarre shit, like eating babies, and you go, what the fuck? How did we get to this? Like, it just goes into some weird, bizarre, other realm of reality.
But babies are delicious.
Rich does not condone anybody's ideas or self-thoughts on this program.
You finally done it, Rob. You finally did something to tear this group apart that we can't mend.
I like baby chickens.
Wait.
You mean eggs?
Baby chickens?
Oh yeah.
He likes eggs. Scrambled.
Okay. Yeah. So what George Carlin said, it's not the end of an egg, it's the beginning of a chicken. So anyway, so it starts getting into some weird shit. And you go, it's hard for human beings for us to wrap our mind around insanity. That's where a lot of conspiracies come from. As human beings, we have to find something that makes sense. And if we don't come up with something that makes sense, then we have to invent something like 9/11. If we don't come up with an alternate reason why it happened, it means that all of these crazy fluke things happened and it's a tragedy and we couldn't do anything about it, and that's scary for humans, so we have to bullshit ourselves and come up with an explanation so we have some control over it. That's usually how conspiracy theories work. So, that being said, we wonder, why is it always, when it comes to this stuff, it's always the upper crust, the celebrities. This is all allegedly, by the way. I'm covering everything with this is alleged nonsense. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So it's always the upper crust. It's always the ruling class, the celebrities, the elites that are involved in all of this. Like, you never see the guy in California that's selling flowers on the roadside. He's not showing up in the Epstein file. Not going to happen. The guy who's punching the clock, Johnny Paycheck, not showing up in there either. So you go, how is this possible? How is everybody connected? How does nothing ever happen no matter what light comes of things? Not to mention, we have little spin-offs that come off of that, like Diddy and Harvey Weinstein. Same shit. Just kind of an extension. Same people, though. Weird. So, we're going to Tarantino this son of a bitch, and we're going to go all the way back to Eisenhower, as I mentioned earlier. Eisenhower leaves office, and he starts having weird shit he's saying about not trusting the military-industrial complex. People start reading into a lot of alien stuff that he's saying. This is post-Roswell. There is the conspiracy that Eisenhower signed some sort of a treaty with the aliens, and that's when we have some sort of back-and-forth partnership. Okay, fine. JFK gets in. JFK goes, we did what? Are you fucking kidding me? We made deals with these Martians. Are you kidding me? We have to go to the moon and we have to see them on their turf and we have to do something about it. So he wants to get to the moon and then he's like, I want to take this treaty and I want to rip it up. Where's Marilyn? Tell her to get me a gin and tonic. Okay? And they go, holy shit, we forgot. Not all the presidents are going to agree with this. So they had to get rid of JFK, and then they go, from now on, presidents don't get to know. We can't have them involved in the alien stuff because they're only there for 4 or 8 years, and they could change their mind and screw all of our shit up. So, all of that is going fine. Aliens are doing their thing, having a good time. Then the 80s roll around, and Coke gets good. And oh, the aliens, they love the Coke. Oh no, we're talking about the booger sugar.
Oh,
we're
circling back.
Yeah. No. This is the actual blow that we're talking about now. It gets good and they like it. So they start having a lot of fun. Shit starts getting good. 80s are like the prime decade. The 80s are great. It goes into the 90s. We were living high on the hog. A lot of the aliens, because they came up with something new. It's these reptilians, by the way, is what we're talking about. They're having a lot of fun, having a good time. But they need skin suits. They want to get out and they want to get that sweet, sweet Coke. But they need a skin suit to do it in so they can walk amongst us. You know, and who does all the Coke? Who had all the fun in the 80s? The rich and the celebrities and the elite. So they had to get into that crowd. Okay? Fine. Now we start going to 2026 and we get to a thing like this where you have the aliens who are wearing skin suits, and you have the human collaborators who go along with it, just like in They Live. Great documentary made by John Carpenter. Fast forward to 2026, and stuff happens like this. Hey, Bradley Cooper, we're glad you've been like in our club, allegedly. And, we really wanted to get you that Oscar really bad, but Kloskov just came in from the solar system, and he's going to need a skin suit. So, time to ante up. They take Bradley Cooper, do whatever. The alien gets a skin suit, and now we have a Gen 1 skin suit walker out there, just like in the Scarlett Johansson movie where she's got...
Is this before or after Hangovers?
It was after.
Okay.
I'm
fine with that. I'm fine with
that. What are a couple other examples? Because it gets weird. There's the Selena Gomez. We look at Selena Gomez, and there's that whole thing that gets brought up in that. You guys know that one? So what's going on in the Twitter sphere is that Selena Gomez is not Selena Gomez is not Selena Gomez. Her and Justin Bieber had a baby, but the cult, which at the time was, just the Epstein thing, I throw the aliens on it. The aliens are running all of that. They needed her baby. And she was like, no, not without my daughter. So then she said, I'll sacrifice myself. So she did that. They gave the baby to Kourtney Kardashian because it looks like Justin Bieber, I guess. But now they have a new skin suit. And that explains a lot. Demi Lovato, this is not my Demi. This is not my Demi Lovato. Remember short-haired Demi Lovato post her overdose and she got real weird? I think maybe that was Lena Dunham's alien. Took that new skin suit. Wasn't working out. So they had to get
so many names out here. I'm losing track, man. You're going to need to keep me updated here.
I have a flow chart.
Okay, I was saying, I'm going to need a flow chart. I've heard so many celebrities' names in the last 30 seconds here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know who half of them are.
A question. Allegedly. So is the conspiracy about Epstein, does it have to do with aliens just having skin suit, like aliens wanting to take over bodies.
The aliens, the reptilians, they're running everything. All of that.
How does
That's
that
why
relate
nobody
to
ever gets
Epstein?
popped. But we have human co-conspirators who join in because they would like to live high on the hog. But every once in a while, we have to take one of those human conspirators and they got to ante up. You know, it's like it's the tale as old as time, making a deal with the devil. You want fame, you want rich and fortune. Fine, you're going to get all that. But at a certain point, you're going to have to ante up, bitch. We're going to have to take your skin. So somebody can have a skin suit so they can walk amongst us and do that. But here's here's another layer that I came up with the other day. You guys know Botany Bay, right?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Botany Bay?
No.
Botany Bay is in Australia. Botany Bay was originally going to be the penal colony for Britain. That's where they were going to send all of their fugitives to go live and do whatever they want to do. They changed it to a different place. But Rob, if you remember, again, in Star Trek II, bringing this whole thing full circle, what's the name of Khan's ship that they're put on from Earth?
Oh my God, I haven't seen it since it first came out, dude.
The Botany Bay. Why did they use that in Star Trek? Because their ship was essentially a penal ship that Khan and all of his followers were put on. What if we, Earth, what if we're the Botany Bay for the universe? And we're just the penal colony where they drop off the reptilians
wait,
and then they
hold
just
on.
do their thing.
This sounds like a great movie. Let's do
Hold
it.
on.
Let's do the movie.
How does this tie into Epstein? Because of the eating babies? Or
Yeah. Yes.
Aliens, they need to eat the babies.
Yes. It's a giant club that they all like to be in because they have all the power and the control. How else can you listen? I just told you the conspiracy thing, because if it's not that, it means that people are fucking evil, and that is a hard thing to allow yourself to think.
I'm going to tell you, people.
I am totally with believing these people are evil.
Yes.
I'm good with it.
I am 1,000% going to say that these people are just totally fucking evil, and I hope everyone involved is brought to justice.
Here.
Just fuck that.
But do you guys remember the story in the 80s? There was a guy at like the Denver airport who claimed he went down. He went down an elevator and got into a firefight with a bad race of aliens, and he had like gnarly fucking scars and shit.
That guy wasn't just some guy. What was his name?
Well,
he was a big UFO conspirator.
Yeah, because there was because
he was supposedly a government worker, and it had to do with Area 51.
Yeah. What if he's telling the truth?
Because they said that the Denver, Colorado airport has some underground thing to it that is part of this underground network, so to speak. But like, it's literally underground. There's something underground there. Which they talk about all those underground tunnels in Los Angeles that people travel to.
Okay, Rob, to answer your question, I just remembered through. I blacked out there for a second, but I just remembered where the connection came from when I said, wait a minute, the Epstein thing and the aliens. Guess who has a house built in Los Alamos, New Mexico? Epstein has, it's like the biggest property in the state or something, and it's right in Los Alamos, where top secret government lab is that Bob Lazar claims Site S4 is near that area where he working on the UFOs. Why that motherfucker got to be so close? Why?
Yeah. I
Why
mean,
there?
Some of the theories on that is that they think bodies are buried out on that property, but I don't know, that they think they might, because I think they're searching that property. Like,
I'm sure they'll find stuff.
Actively, there's like some sort of investigation going on there. I believe, but I try to limit like my political intake these days to the absolutely need to know necessary stuff from an unbiased source, so that I can, as unbiased as possible, so that basically just for safety measures, like, what do I need to do today to be safe? Like that's really what it comes down to. And is there somebody I can help potentially be safe with the fuckery that's going on?
You guys saw Jim Carrey, right?
Huh?
You guys saw Jim Carrey, right?
Oh yeah. There was something kind of thing about him that he was wearing a mask, or somebody was.
No, he had so much plastic surgery, wasn't it?
That's not Jim Carrey. That's not Jim Carrey.
I know they were saying that it wasn't Jim Carrey.
It's not. Okay. It's not Jim Carrey. That's not Jim Carrey. I have seen. Listen, between myself and Rich, I'm going to speak for you, Rich.
Go ahead.
We have seen Jim Carrey before in Living Color, all the way up through many decades of seeing Jim Carrey. We have seen him change the older that he has gotten. The person that was out there, that was not Jim Carrey. I'm just saying that. I don't know anything, clearly. Get told that all the time. If I had a nickel for every time I was wrong about shit, we wouldn't have to play the stupid lottery. But that's not Jim Carrey. And if it was Jim Carrey, he wouldn't have his publicist put out things saying, no, it was really him. He was there just doing whatever. Go away. If it was really Jim Carrey,
Where
he'd be
was
poking
this?
fun and
Where was
making
Jim
jokes.
Carrey that you're saying it's not Jim Carrey? I want to see it.
Just Google Jim Carrey.
He was at
Paris
an award
Awards or
show.
something.
Yeah, he was at an award show.
Didn't sound like him. He didn't talk like him.
Which award show?
Up in an award show in Paris. That was, I can't remember what it was.
Jim.
Well, and I feel like I've seen two different versions of that. I think I've seen one where it's totally not him, or I feel like it wasn't him, and I've seen him with a lot of plastic surgery.
But then I guess somebody had put something out there like this was him 2 weeks ago on a show. Of course,
but that wasn't true.
Which, yeah, I mean, like,
I don't know. To me, it looks like an older, chubbier Jim Carrey. But
everybody's getting plastic surgery. You talked about Bradley Cooper. I mean, now your conspiracy with him having been taken over by an alien in a skin suit. Allegedly. Maybe it's true. I mean, he had some work done. Bradley Cooper doesn't look the same.
I couldn't stop.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hey, did you guys hear the one that Selena Gomez is really Gina Davis and they took her consciousness and put it inside because she talks like her a little bit?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like another whole episode.
Wowzer. Well,
wait, so you guys think that was Jim Carrey? That wasn't Jim Carrey.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the pictures.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think one was and one wasn't. Because I feel like he does look like he's had a lot of plastic surgery, but I feel like it was almost like a spoof or a hoax or something.
Yes.
Like where he was
bizarre.
Like, that totally wasn't me, fooled you or whatever. You know what I mean? But I didn't know if I was just looking at like
the old reptilian aliens.
I just didn't know if I was looking at just a made up story when I saw it. Because who knows nowadays?
Well,
man, I thought you guys were gonna like the alien stuff more. I'm kind of disappointed. That was a lot of.
Well, you should have talked about the moon like we all expected you to.
Oh, you thought I was good. You thought I was going to talk about the moon?
I thought you were going to say that the moon landing was fake.
That is so funny to me. That makes me so happy.
We already did a whole episode on that one.
Oh.
I 1000% thought that was going to be your conspiracy.
We don't got to get into it, but I will say this, that just thought about it the other day. From 1969 to 1972. So let's count on our finger. 69, 70, 71, 72. That's 4 years. In a 4-year span, we went to the moon 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 7. We went to the moon 7 times, walked on it 6, brought everybody back safely. That in 4 years, in a 4-year time span. Hey, what were you guys doing 4 years ago? What else have we accomplished in 4 years when it comes to anything remotely close to that? We went to the moon. And walked on it multiple times successfully in 4 years. That's sketchy.
And then never
well,
back.
You know, so we got
sketchy.
We have satellites mapping out the moon, and not just us, other countries are, but you know what you can see pictures of? The old landing sites and the equipment that was left behind. So all these countries.
Wow, we see that something was there.
My other one was going to be about that I believe a long dog time ago there was life on Mars.
Okay.
That was the other one I was going to bring up.
I think that you should bring that up whenever we do your episode on interstellar objects.
July.
Interstellar objects was going to be about, Oumuamua and stuff, but I don't know how to tie that into Mars. We could do a whole thing on life. We could do a whole thing on my theory of life on Mars, and how the moon came into play from after colliding with Mars, and
let's do it.
Captured in there. We could do something. Definitely.
Let's do it. Well, guys, this was fun. What do you think of the conspiracy theory roulette wheel? Well, we hope our listeners enjoyed it as well. Our new schedule is every month we're going to put out an extended episode. We'll do many things like this. We'll have single topics. We'll have a little bullshit sessions and so forth. But we'll make sure we get the links in this episode. Keep your eyes out for Realm on Film. Head over to Wrestling with the Realm, catch up some episodes there, and we got some, hopefully some investigations that we have coming up, and then we're going to talk later in the year about some evidence that we had from some previous investigations. So we have a lot coming up for you. We love you all. We thank you so much for your support. We'd love to hear any comments, questions, concerns, and also
no concerns.
Comments, questions, concerns. No, we want concerns.
Oh,
but
we care about our listeners.
Me and Rob are going to get in trouble if we ask them to do that.
That's true. But yeah, you guys might be in trouble. But it's funny because I always know which episodes, like people that contact us to reach out to us to ask to be on our podcast. Like I can almost tell which episodes they've watched because sometimes they'll address it to Dear Rob and Rich, or Dear Brian, Dear Rob and Gina, Dear Rob, Amy, and like it's literally this. There's a whole myriad of different things of people that they touch. So it's really kind of funny because then I remember I remember the show that it was just me, Rob, and Amy. So that must have been the one they listened to. So I don't know. I find it interesting.
Since Rob came up a lot, maybe that's just, he's
the common denominator
and makes the most sense. But
yeah, I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that's 100% it. But for those of you that are reaching out to us, we are slow at getting to all the emails, but we are getting through them. We're just trying to vet things and figure out how we can work things into the process. But I have been reaching out to people. Don't fret. We will be back in contact with you if it's something we think we can fit into the show. We'd love to have guests on. So if you have any stories you want to tell us about, please let us know. You can get a hold of us at connectedrealm@gmail.com. That's connectedrealm@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook. You can message us through our YouTube channel. But also we now have a phone number that you can text. Ooh. And that number is 414-600-7049. So that's
what's that number?
414-600-7049.
You can't bring that up on the screen?
Oh, I should.
Yeah, you got to do it in post. That's what I do on WWR. I put it up in post.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see what I can do.
If something mean to say, don't say it. Don't text it.
Yeah, if you have something mean to say.
Amy's very sensitive.
Yeah, you'll hurt me.
But yeah, you can reach us. We'll get back to you. But you can leave us. You can even call that number, leave voicemails. You can leave messages. Don't make them hateful, please, because we're not hateful. But unless you're Brian talking about people that you don't like that. Wow, I think Brian, Rich, and Rob have offended quite a few people on this.
Wait a minute. You started this episode talking about the poor ghost over my shoulder.
Pish posh.
She went on like a 20-minute tirade about Ms. Sweeney. Good day, I say.
But you can call us if you have some haunted sites you want us to check out. You have a haunted story that you want to tell us. We want to hear your story. Maybe we'll put you on the show. You can send us written stories that we can read on the show. We just want to hear from you. So just let us know what we can bring to you that you would like to hear, or if you want to share something of your own. So until then, we're going to try to keep it fresh, keep it real. But as always, stay weird. We love y'all. Ciao.